Good morning. My name is Betty Harris, and I am a minister here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, an retired minister. I would like to read to you this morning something for meditation, and it's a selection from a book called Spiritual Ecology, The Cry of the Earth, and it has essays by a number of different people. The one I'm going to read this morning is by Wendell Berry. The master of many literary genres, Wendell Berry is at heart a traditionalist, a farmer who uses horses to work his land and organic fertilizer and pest control. His message is that humans must learn to live in harmony with the natural rhythms of the earth or perish. In the natural world, everything knows its place. Here we find an, quote, old intelligence of the heart. And as an entree, he writes, I take literally the statement in the Gospel of John that God loves the world. I believe that the world was created and approved by love, that it subsists, coheres, and endures by love, and that insofar as it is redeemable, it can be redeemed only by love. I believe that divine love, incarnate and dwelling in the world, summons the world always toward wholeness, which ultimately is reconciliation and atonement with God. And this is a poem by Wendell Berry, and it's called Some Further Words. And I will let you know ahead of time it's a relatively long poem, but it's a nice one, and I'm going to read it to you. Let me be plain with you, dear reader. I am an old-fashioned man. I like the world of nature, despite its mortal dangers. I like the domestic world of humans, so long as it pays its debts to the natural world and keeps its bounds. I like the promise of heaven. My purpose is a language that can repay just thanks and honor for those gifts, a tongue set free from fashionable lies. Neither this world nor any of its places is an environment, and a house for sale is not a home. Economics is not science, nor informative knowledge. A knave with a degree is a knave. A fool in a public office is not a leader. A rich thief is a thief, and the ghost of Arthur Moore, who taught me Chaucer, returns in the night to say again, let me tell you something, boy. An intellectual whore is still a whore. The world is babbled to pieces after the divorce of things from their names. Ceaseless preparation for war is not peace. Health is not procured by sale of medication, or purity by the addition of poison. Science, at the bidding of the corporations, is knowledge reduced to merchandise. It is a whoredom of the mind, and so is the art that calls this progress. So is the cowardice that calls it inevitable. I think the issues of identity mostly are poppycock. We are what we have done, which includes our promises, includes our hopes, but promises first. I know a fetus is a human child. I loved my children from the time they were conceived, having loved their mother, who loved them from the time they were conceived and before. Who are we to say that the world does not begin in love? I would like to die in love as I was born, and as myself, of life impoverished, go into the love all flesh begins and ends in. I don't like machines, which are neither mortal nor immortal, though I am constrained to use them. Thus the age perfects its clinch. Some say they will be gone, and that will be a glad and holy day. I mean the machines that run by burning the world's body and its breath. When I see an airplane fuming through the once pure sky of a fuming through the once pure sky, or a vehicle of the outer space with its little inner space, imitating a star at night, I say, get out of there, as I would speak to a fox or a thief in the hen house. When I hear the stock market has fallen, I say, long live gravity, long live stupidity, error, and greed in the palaces of fantasy capitalism. I think an economy should be based on thrift, on taking care of things, not on theft, usury, seduction, waste, and ruin. My purpose is a language that can make us whole, though mortal, ignorant, and small. The world is whole beyond human knowing. The body's life is its own, untouched by the little clockwork of explanation. I approve of death when it comes in time to the old. I don't want to live on mortal terms forever, or survive an hour as a cooling stew of pieces of other people. I don't believe that life or knowledge can be given by machines. The machine economy has set afire the household of the human soul, and all the creatures are burning within it. I don't believe that scientific genius, in its naive assertion of power, is equal either to nature or to human culture. Its thoughtless invasions of the world, of the nuclei of atoms and cells, and this world's every habitation. We have not brought us to the light, but sent us wandering further through the dark. Nor do I believe artistic genius is the possession of any artist. No one has made the art by which one makes the works of art. Each one who speaks as a convocation. We live as councils of ghosts. It is not human genius that makes them human, but an old love and old intelligence of the heart we gather from the world, from the creatures, from the angels of inspiration, from the dead, an intelligence merely non existent to those who do not have it, but to those who have it, more dear than life. And just as tenderly to be known are the affections that make a woman and a man, their household and their homeland one. These two, though known, cannot be told to those who do not know them, and fewer of us learn them year by year. These affections are leaving the world like the colors of extinct birds, like the songs of a dead language. Think of the genius of the animals, every one truly what it is. Gnat, fox, minnow, swallow, each made of light and luminous within itself. They know better. They know better than we do how to live in the places where they live. And so I would like to be a tree, a true human being, dear reader, a choice not altogether possible now. But this is what I'm for, the side I'm on. And this is what you should expect of me, as I expect it of myself, though for the realization we may wait 1,000 or 1,000,000 years. And I invite you to close your eyes, to go into meditation. I will call you when our time is up. The service will start in about 20 minutes. Thank you for being here.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand. I'm gonna stand up for joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take. Bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when, or where, or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing. There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. You gotta let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Whether you are here in the sanctuary or you have invited us into your homes through the power of live streaming, we are very glad that you are here with us today to celebrate God, to celebrate life, to celebrate each other, and to celebrate this absolutely magnificent day. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I have the privilege and the honor of being this community spiritual director. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm just so blessed to be here with you, and to be a part of this community. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that honors all paths and promotes global transformation through personal transformation. We are a spiritual community that can support you as you strive to create and maintain a personal relationship with the divine, a spiritual community where you are respected and accepted just for being who you are, a space and place for inspiration, insight, and revelation, as well as loving support to grow into your highest and best self. You are welcome here no matter where you are on your journey. We're part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living, which is a global community of approximately 450 spiritual centers, special focus ministries, and teaching chapters all over the world in approximately 30 different countries worldwide. Centers for Spiritual Living is a practical and positive philosophy, faith, and way of life that is dedicated to transforming lives by providing powerful spiritual principles and practices for us to use in our daily lives, and to explore new possibilities to assist the world to become a world that actually works for all. Now, I have a few really important events. There are a few really important events coming up that I would like to make mention. And the first is that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Day is tomorrow. And I really love that we are celebrating Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King in a month whose theme is stretching into possibility, because he had a dream. And then he asked all of us to stretch into possibility in order to make that dream come true. And how that showed up was that during the less than 13 years of his leadership of the modern American civil rights movement from December 1955 until April 4th, 1968, African Americans achieved more genuine progress towards racial equality in America than in the previous 350 years. Dr. King is widely regarded as America's preeminent advocate of nonviolence and is one of the greatest nonviolent leaders in world history. At age 35, he was the youngest man to have received the Nobel Peace Prize. He said, "All life is interrelated. We are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. We are made to live together because of the interrelated structure of reality." So thank you, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, for all of your contributions, for being who you were, and really inspiring us to become something greater than we had ever been before. Also, second is that tomorrow is also the inauguration of a new president. Our 47th president of the United States of America. President Trump will lay out his vision for our country in his inaugural address. So I affirm for all of us that divine intelligence, the wisdom of God, flows through as President-elect Trump and all of the members of the Senate and the Congress and the state and city officials across the country. I declare that divine right action is always unfolding in our lives, and that unconditional love always wins in the end. I wrap a blanket of peace around the entire country as we move through this upcoming year and beyond. So we celebrate our 47th President of the United States and look forward to how life unfolds for all of us. And lastly, the third important event is that our founder, Ernest Holmes, is celebrating his birthday on Tuesday, the 21st, his 138th birthday, to be exact. I know, right? Now, Ernest Holmes was born January 21st, 1887 in Lincoln, Maine, and grew up to become a New Thought writer, teacher, and leader. He developed the spiritual philosophy, the science of mind, and in 1927, the spiritual movement known as religious science. This was also the year that he published his most comprehensive work, The Science of Mind, which is what we talked about last week and what we'll be talking about this week. The principles he taught as Science of Mind have inspired and influenced many generations of metaphysical students and teachers throughout time. While he never really set out to create a religion or to found a church, in February 1927, Holmes incorporated the Institute of Religious Science and the School of Philosophy. And later that year, he began publishing the Science of Mind magazine, which has been ongoing since 1927. In 1935, he reincorporated his organization as the Institute of Religious Science and Philosophy, and in 1954, he reestablished it again as a religious organization called the Church of Religious Science. Today, the organization is known as Centers for Spiritual Living. He said, "People are truly humble. When we look upon the grandeur of a mountain or the vastness of the ocean, or think about the bigness of things. We do not become lost in this grandeur, but we do stand in awe before it. Something deep within us responds. Something within us embraces the ocean and melts into the mountains, and we become one with it all." Lastly, I would like to encourage everyone to strongly consider staying next Sunday. So this Sunday, the awesome John Carnes is facilitating some bingo. We have some prizes and some fellowship with all for all. Carol Cross has brought beautiful soup for us all, and we have some other people that have brought in things. So we just encourage everyone to stay if you like the menu and break bread with us all, or perhaps run over to a nearby restaurant and grab something for yourself, and to come back and play bingo with us. But next Sunday, I encourage you to stay for the prayer workshop that will be facilitated following the service. I cannot tell you how many times I have heard people say that they were so grateful for prayers that they received from someone else speaking them, or prayers that they were able to do for themselves, even more importantly. In a new year filled with uncertainty, our feelings may be all over the map. And so there is no better way to raise up our own energy and to soothe our own souls than with prayer. So the workshop will show you, or perhaps remind you, for those of you who have had foundations, on how to do affirmative prayer in a way that supports yourself and your friends and your family and your communities and ultimately the world. It will run from 12 o'clock until 2 o'clock. And the suggestion is to once again bring a sack lunch or go out to a restaurant and get something to go, and to join us to break bread before the prayer workshop. But I think that it would be an amazing way to really be able to be there for ourselves and for each other as we move through a new year. I would also like to thank Reverend Betty Harris for her beautiful meditation that expanded in the container that our service will unfold within. So thank you, Reverend Betty. And I would now like to invite up at least Sean Shockey. And you're doing it by yourself? And Eileen, the lovely Eileen Proctor, as they do our announcements for the day. Well, you look good. You look good.
Wait, before I start announcements, I'm serious. You may be colorblind, but is this not the most beautiful congregation you have ever seen? All of you smile. Seriously, a beautiful full house today. My heart is so full. So
And good morning, everybody, and welcome once again to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Okay, we have a few announcements. January 2025 is Bring a Friend, Share the Joy month. The invitation is for each of us to invite at least one friend to join us for at least one Sunday service. We would not be mad if you were to invite more than one friend on more than one Sunday. Each Sunday, we will hold a raffle for the guest and a raffle for the host. There will be other giveaways for all after every service. We will also be holding a special event for example, lunch bunch on the first Sunday, Rap with the Rev on the second Sunday, bingo with John Carnes on the third Sunday today, and a prayer workshop on the fourth. Mark your calendars and reach out to some friends for Bring a Friend, Share the Joy January.
awesome. So our Wednesday evening service for 2025 are called the Wednesday Experience. A look at life through meditation, musings, metaphysics, and magic. If I was a ventriloquist, I couldn't do that because I can't move my mouth for the M's. But each week, the evening will be facilitated by practitioners and others who will share an insightful, revealing, and perhaps provocative reading or story, and then facilitate a meditation. Following the meditation, we'll all have an opportunity to share ideas with each other around the reading or the story or whatever came up for us during the meditation. The service will once again be held on Zoom, 7 to 8:15. The link is on our website and also on our Facebook page.
Okay. Spiritual education is one of the many ways that we grow spiritually. This is a save the date announcement, and the invitation to participate in our foundations class. The foundations class is a 10-week entry-level class for the study of the science of mind. It is a personal exploration of the 10 core concepts of science of mind, philosophy, faith, and way of life in their application to the process of daily living. Discover and express the power, creativity, freedom, abundance, and joy that lie within you. Learn about the cosmic reality, how to forgive the past, live in the present, and consciously design your future. The foundation class is required for anyone wishing to serve as a team and our home group leader or on our leadership council. The length of the course is 10 weeks beginning Tuesday, February 4th, and running through Tuesday, April 8th. The class is held on Zoom from 6:30 through 9:30 p.m. There is also one full day prayer workshop on Saturday, March 8th from 9 a.m. through 4 p.m. The cost is $250. You can hold your place by registering with the $25 deposit. The text we will be using is The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. Another book, Living the Science of Mind, also by Ernest Holmes, is recommended but not mandatory. Please consider joining us for this wonderful class. It is truly a game changer.
And if you've taken it before, take it again. Great reminder. So this is a very important announcement for an evening of fun, laughter, and musical comedy on Saturday, February 8th. Join us as we welcome international performers and recording artists Armand and Angelina. Both of them have been gracing this community with their music, their insight, their consciousness, their joy, and their presence for many years. They've entertained us and raised us time and time again, and I personally guarantee you're going to have a great time. For those of you that have never experienced Armand and Angelina, let me tell you a little bit about it. Angelina is a classically trained vocalist who uses her voice to open hearts and bring joy to the world. And Armand is an inspirational speaker, musician, and author whose lighthearted approach to spirituality invites us all to live life passionately. Together, using songs, stories, and humor, they remind us that we were meant to experience heaven on earth. The talk title is Chants for Sing-Along. The concert is right here at 4 Points by Sheraton at 7 o'clock. The suggested love offering is $20, and please RSVP to info@trianglecsl.org so we can set up enough chairs. If you're not able to join us on Saturday or would simply love to experience more of the two of them, they'll also be doing the meditation, the music, and the message at our Sunday celebration service on Sunday, February 9th. Their title talk is There is Only One Race, the Human Race. The meditation, as always, will begin at 9:45 and the service at 10:15.
And last but not least, later on Sunday, join us for our annual Super Bowl and chili cook-off on Sunday, February 9th. We have been doing this for many years, and it always proves to be a very fun evening of great food and fellowship. The cost of the evening is $5 or a large pot of your favorite chili. The winners will receive cash prizes, a trophy, and bragging rights. Please RSVP to info@trianglecsl.org with the number of people in your party and whether you will be bringing chili for the contest. Please welcome Diane Carnes. Is Diane Carnes coming up now? Not Diane.
Reverend Betty Harris.
Please welcome Reverend Betty Harris, everybody, okay? Make sure I get all my stuff. There you go.
Getting it all straight is a little hard sometimes. Let me see.
Hang on, Betty.
Oh, good morning. Let's see, where am I? Thank you. Let me think. Okay. The theme for the year 2025 is rising higher, growing deeper. Looks a little conflictful, but we'll get all the way there. Our theme for the month of January is stretching into possibility. And Dusty's message today is it flows. Possibility flows, something. Okay, I'm now going to read this community's purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. Now I invite you to center yourself, to please turn within, and to open your heart and mind and allow the sounds of the crystal bowls to wash over us.
I invite everyone to bring your attention back into your bodies and into the room. And I'm privileged to invite Daniel and Chelsea to the front to help me with the next portion of our service. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths as represented by this ceremony. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you, Daniel and Chelsea.
Thank you.
Proud Papa. Okay, now I invite everyone to please close your outer eyes as I speak a blessing on the service. And I just want to tell you folks that this is a beautiful day, and I recognize the presence of love that's the driving force in this moment, in me, in our community, and in the world. And I recognize that this infinite spirit of love is the truth for all. And I speak a blessing on our service this morning inside of that truth of love. And I bless Reverend Dusty as she brings forth our most inspirational words for this morning. And I bless Heather Abbott and thank her profusely for all that she provides for this community. I speak a blessing on Karen Daly as she inspires us with the beauty of her music and song. I speak a blessing on all the volunteers who I haven't named, but who were part of preparing the space for our service today. And I speak a blessing on this congregation, knowing that we are all enriched by our time together. And I release this word into the law of love, and so it is. And today's reading is from Eric Butterworth. He says, "The great truth taught by the mystics of all ages is life is lived from within out. This means that the whole universe is concentrated at the point where you are. More than this, you are the universe expressing as you. You are its living enterprise. It forever stands behind you with its full resources. However, the fullness of this universal support comes through you and not just to you. The most profound knowledge that you can attain is that your whole experience flows forth inexorably from a universal process, which is always from within out." Wow. And so it is. And now I'd like to introduce our wonderful musician for the day, Karen Daly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so good to see everybody. Woo! All right. Well, we're talking about flow today. So for me, flow is kind of leaning into what's presenting itself and allowing. And this song reminds me to do that a little bit every now and again. It's called "I Hear a Call." I hear a call. Will I answer? Forsake my own, loving heaven, through darkness falls. Stay a believer. I hear a call. Now will I answer? I see light. Now will I follow? Fill up this life. Praise more low, make joy beside. With every sorrow I see light. Now will I follow? I hear a call from out of nowhere, and from everywhere I go, I hear a call. Now will I answer? I feel a touch. Now will I hold on and be there with love? No one with a kindness such. It is though I am gone, I feel a touch. Now will I hold on? I hear a call from out of nowhere, and from everywhere I go, I see a light. Now will I follow? I feel a touch. Now will I hold on? I hear a call. Now will I answer? Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Karen. That was beautiful. And I'm going to take just a moment before I start, because I am called to right the appearance of somewhat of an injustice that appears to be going on in our ritual. Do you feel better? I do too. So welcome to those of you who may have just arrived in the sanctuary or turned on your televisions or computers at home. The theme for January is stretching into possibility. And January typically tends to be a time when most CSLs across the world choose to talk about the underlying foundational practices and principles of our teaching. And so last Sunday, we talked about the thing itself and the way it works, which happened to be the first 2 chapters of the Science of Mind textbook. Now, the thing itself is a term that's used by Ernest Holmes in reference to the one power and the one presence that is back of everything that there is. The thing itself is not a presence outside of ourselves, but a power and presence that is within us and surrounding us. We are immersed in it, and it flows through us. The way it works is through the creative process. which operates in accordance with an unfailing law. And that unfailing law was proclaimed by Jesus. It is done unto you as you believe. So the law knows nothing about big or small, and it doesn't care that the person who is using it is old or young, that they are rich or poor, that they are male or female. It has no judgment as to why we want to be or to do or to have any particular thing. It simply manifests the thought seed that comes into it, that is planted into it, and that is its nature. So today we're going to continue with the conversation around the third and fourth chapters, what it does and how we use it. So the third chapter, what it does, describes that creative process. Now we use the analogy of the seed, the soil, and the plant. That corresponds to the triune nature of the divine. So spirit, soul or law, and body. The triune nature, spirit, soul or law, and body. And how that works is that the spirit aspect of God has a thought, and that's the seed, right? And so that thought is released into the aspect of God that is known as soul or law. And that law only and always says yes. It says okay. And that soul or that law contains the unformed substance of God. And out of that unformed substance of God, then whatever thought was put into it is manifested out into the world. And that then becomes the body of God or the plant. So the seed, that thought, the soil, which is where it is planted into, which is the unformed substance of God, and then what is manifested is known as the plant or the body of God. Now, the fourth chapter, how we use it, confirms that in our own individual lives, that creative process works exactly the same way. We have a thought or an idea or a belief, right? And that thought or idea or belief is released into the law or the soul and is clothed in form. And this becomes an outpicturing in our lives of an exact replica of whatever thought or idea or belief that we planted into that law, into the soil, that unformed God substance. And we can rely on that. We can rely on that because the law, that the soil always works the same way all of the time for everyone. The body, this is that outpicturing, which is the body of our affairs or the body of our experiences, our relationships, our finances, our health, our success, to name just a few of the aspects of that body. Now, the bottom line is that according to our conscious and our unconscious thoughts, we reenact this creative process. And through it, we could create the conditions of our lives. By thinking, we set into motion a power that creates. We set into motion a power that creates. We co-create with that power. We set it into motion. But not only does that power create, but it does it as Jesus declared, it will be exactly as we think. And it always works the same way all of the time for everyone, no matter who's using it. So if our thoughts are creative, then we should be able to look out into our lives and see exactly what we have been thinking. Now, I know that some of y'all are out there thinking, what the heck, Dusty? I didn't think this thing into being. I didn't want this empty bank account. I didn't create this situation, right? I did not consciously choose this. the law must be broken. Has to be. But I can assure you that it is not. Like the law of gravity, it always works. And it always works the same way for everyone with no exceptions. So the bottom line is, as I said before, it is based on our conscious and our unconscious thoughts. So if you're looking out at your external world that's out picturing in some way other than your conscious thoughts, then in all probability, it is looking that way because of your unconscious thoughts. A reflection of those unconscious thoughts and beliefs that we hold within us. Many of our thoughts were created by a child who was experiencing something. And out of that experience, they said something about themselves or about the people around them or about their lives that continues to have power over their lives right now. Or perhaps it was something that someone else said to you about you that you bought into and that you continue to buy into. Or perhaps it is even something that the collective of society believes in as a whole that we have bought into. But it doesn't matter how, and it doesn't matter why that thought or that belief is there. It only matters that it is. And it only matters that it still holds some emotional weight for us. Our thoughts manifest in direct relationship to the belief that we have in them or to the emotion that's behind them. That emotion, that feeling is the thing that lights that up. It's the flame of creation. Those with a really strong emotion attached to them have more power. So a thought of I am not worthy created by a 5-year-old will continue to hold a lot of punch. And as we talked about the sower, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, that those thoughts, those new seedling thoughts get choked by the underlying thought or the underlying idea that we said about ourselves as a 5-year-old, and they continue to kill out those new thoughts that we have. They will win over because there's more emotion attached to them than these new thoughts we're just beginning to think. So our experience of life is therefore at any given time an outpicturing of the beliefs that we hold within us, both conscious and unconscious. Both our individual thoughts and the collective thoughts, because we're swimming in that sea of collective thoughts. The problem is we tend to reproduce the same circumstances, relationships, and situations that we've always produced. Right? Same relationship, just different hair. Same boss, just a different job. We tend to recreate and form the cumulative experiences of the human race over and over again. I think John wore a T-shirt last week. It was don't make me repeat myself, and it was signed history. We tend to create from old beliefs that no longer serve us, worn out stories that have become the context of our life, out of which we create the experiences, right? By doing so, we do not allow for the presence of the unlimited possibilities that are always available to us. In order to shift the circumstances and the relationships and the situations that we are experiencing today, both individually and collectively, we have to think a new thought. in order to shift the circumstances and the relationships and the situations that we are experiencing today, both individually and collectively, we have to know that it is not about seeing what is, but seeing what is possible. Seeing what is possible. I have a dream, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said. Seeing what is possible. To truly embrace the philosophy and the teaching of science of mind, we must understand how the law operates. And this requires more than just reading about it. We have to really embody it. We have to connect the dots. And by connecting the dots, I mean to really trace back to the source, which is our mind and our consciousness, to see what it is that has outpictured in our lives today. By recognizing how this power moves from our inner thoughts to our outer experiences, then we can actually test that theory and to better understand its impact. This process of connecting our inner world to our outer results is absolutely essential for really having a good comprehension of the law and being able to actually consciously use it. We use it all the time. But what we want to do, what we really need to do, is to be able to consciously use it. So this then brings me to my message. You guys a little worried? It's going to be okay. Betty brought up it. It flows. It flows. It, the divine, spirit, first cause, the thing itself, Christ consciousness, our highest and best self with a capital S, the truth with a capital T, peace, the universe, or life itself. It. It is a dynamic flow that is ever expressing as everything and everyone. Flow. The action or fact of moving along in a steady, smooth, continuous, easy, and graceful stream of something. So it flows. There is a continuous stream of divine guidance, divine love, divine abundance, divine health, divine harmony, divine beauty, divine abundance, divine freedom, and divine wisdom, to name just a few of the somethings that flow through us. We are in this flow. This flow is within us. The flow of life is the very nature of God. And it is the natural experience of humankind. The natural experience of humankind. Now, the really awesome news is that wherever we are and whatever is happening around us, we can get still. And in that stillness, we can know that we are in the flow. Wherever we are and whatever might be happening around us, we can know that the flow of life in us is as natural to us as the force of gravity. With this awareness and our alignment with it, we will experience an effusion of light in the form of creative ideas, unending guidance, and answers without ceasing. All the things that we really want to move forward in our lives. Now, there's a story that I've heard a couple of different times from a couple of different sources about a man who sat brooding at his desk one evening after receiving a devastating dismissal notice from a company that he had served for over 20 years. He was reflecting in despair. I mean, you can feel that, right? He was reflecting in despair on the difficulty of getting another job at his age, the impossible task of living on this new income, and the shock of feeling that he was no longer needed, that he was obsolete, that he was wasted. Really? all washed up. So he noticed at that time a spider on the desk, and he just kind of unconsciously, gently brushed it off the desk. Suddenly, he was watching in awe as the tiny creature automatically spun a thread that was strong enough to hold its weight and swung gracefully to the floor. He began to wonder if this tiny creature could get in the flow of a mysterious resource and deal so creatively with the crisis it found itself in, then why could he not do the same? The answer came dramatically. He must have gotten out of his own natural flow. Right? Look within. He must have gotten out of his own natural flow. The fact that he was so disturbed by this experience actually proved that that was so. Now, getting himself synchronized in the consciousness of the flow and recognizing that his good does not come to him but through him probably won't get him his job back, but it will most certainly move him forward to something better. Now, with a new consciousness of the flow, the man went on to a new, increased experience of security and creativity. He had always wanted to write. Now he had the chance. And not that he became a Hemingway or anything, but he actually wrote a lot, and he was able to sell much of what he wrote. And so that, along with his retirement income, he managed to achieve an economic security and an economic freedom that he had not known to that point. All of this because he was now consciously and joyously recognizing being in the flow. The flow is everywhere at all times. Eric Butterworth said, "This is what omnipresence of God means. You do not leave the presence of God or the flow of life and love when you are negative or resistant. You leave the consciousness of its presence. But you are in the flow, and the flow is in you in every moment and in every experience." Now, in a world of human experience, we can find ourselves quite often out of that flow or out of our experience of being in that flow. Someone cuts in front of our car on the freeway, or we receive a diagnosis, or a relationship goes sour, or we lose a job, or we can't get into the class that we really want and really need, to name just a few of the life experiences that can happen. We get mad, or we get sad, or we get angry, or confused, or doubtful. Now, it's perfectly understandable for those feelings to come up within us because this is what we think and believe our outer experience to be about. But there is no automatic responses to conditions. Fear and worry and anger are conditioned reflexes to outer stimulus, to an outer stimulus. When we really know beyond a shadow of a doubt that life is lived from the inside out, then no matter what happens around us or what happens to us, we can find the way to get back into the flow. This is what is meant in the Bible by overcoming the world. Now, we might not know exactly why or how we've lost the consciousness of this flow or our experience of it, but one thing that we can know for sure is that we never leave the flow. Keep in mind that the stream is constant. It's not just present when we affirm it is. or just present when we remember that it is, right? It is always there and it is always constant. We are in this stream constantly, even if our outer experiences do not demonstrate it. It is really who and what we are. The invitation is to not be in resistance to what is happening, but to simply get back in the flow. Don't take issue with that simply. I know it's not always simple. But the invitation is to do whatever we need to do to get back into the flow. In John 21, 1 verse 6, there's a moment in which Jesus teaches through a living parable. The disciples, who were mostly fishermen, were out fishing on the Sea of Galilee. And after a whole night of work, they had caught nothing. At daylight, when they returned to the shore, they were tired and they were discouraged. They came upon Jesus, who suggested that they try it again, only this time he wanted them to cast their nets out on the right side of the boat. Just imagine their reaction. After all, they were experienced fishermen. What would the carpenter know? And yet, after all that they had seen traveling with Jesus, how could they question his insights? And so they did as he suggested, and they cast their net out on the right side of the boat. And now they couldn't even hardly haul the net in because of how many fish were in it. Couldn't hardly even get it into the boat. Now, the story dramatically symbolizes, right, the right and the wrong side of life. As Shakespeare said, the fault is not in our stars, but in ourselves. But in ourselves. It's a matter of consciousness and not the will of God or the fickle finger of fate. It is in our consciousness. And the really good news is that consciousness can be changed. The disciples in consciousness were out of the flow of life. By the sheer act of casting from the other side of the boat, they changed their whole experience. This means that by turning in thought from negative to positive, from moods of insufficiency to attitudes of confidence, we may alter our whole experience from failure to success. On the right side of life, we get in tune with the flow of our good. And I know how you all love the practical side of things, so here's a few practical ideas for keeping our awareness of being in the flow at a very high level. Number 1, meditate daily, or do some kind of introspective activity with no distractions. When we're caught up in the routine of life, identified with our thoughts, or lost in the world of action, we will, in all probability, find that we are completely out of alignment and in the moment not even aware of the fact that we are. Number 2, practice being completely present. In this state, all doing naturally arises out of being. And from that place, we are much more powerful and creative and effective. Number 3, accept that the flow is a moment-to-moment thing and will be for the rest of our lives. Like a current, it is constantly in motion and it is constantly changing. Every moment of the day is an opportunity to be in the flow or to be out of the flow. And it is our choice. Number 4, become familiar with the feeling of rightness. Become familiar with the feeling of rightness. Now, we might think that something is right, but if we really feel our way into it, we recognize that it's all wrong. All wrong for ourselves, all wrong for everybody around us. The feeling of rightness is like an internal yes with absolutely no internal no. I call it a full body yes. It is a full body yes. There's nothing inside of me that's saying, maybe not. It's a full body yes. It will feel expansive. It will feel like relief. It feels like peace. So the invitation is to keep following that feeling of rightness. It's an indication that we are in the flow. And number 5, the road marker for flow is synchronicity. The more in flow we are, the more synchronicity occurs. We cannot do anything to directly cause synchronicity to happen, and yet it does. And when it does so to meet our needs. We're encouraged to notice and follow the synchronicities. They mean that we are in the flow. The invitation today is to become more aware of the thing itself, to ground ourselves in what it does, to demonstrate the way that it works in our own lives, use it to profoundly transform our experience, and to choose to do whatever can be done to consciously be aware of our being in its flow. And so it is. So it is. Thank you, everyone. I just invite everyone to turn within for a moment of prayer to really anchor this message in the truth. And as I close my eyes, I am so acutely aware of the truth. That which is within me is the power and presence that created everything that there is, seen and unseen. That there is that within me which is the very presence, the very essence of peace and joy, creativity, love, wisdom, abundance, freedom, grace. That I am one with this power and presence. It is that which created me in its image and likeness. Wherever I am, God is in its fullness and in its wholeness. And this cannot just be true for me. It has to be true for each and every single one of us. Everyone here in the sanctuary, everyone at home, everyone in our community, all sentient beings on the planet. We are connected one to the other by that golden thread of God's stuff. And it's from this place of unity that I speak these words about and for each of us today. Truly knowing that there is a way that we can live our lives fully cognizant, fully aware, fully conscious of being in the flow, grounded in our oneness with the divinity that is within us and surrounding us. There is that within us that knows when we've gotten out of the flow, consciously, in our consciousness, where we've let our awareness fall away from that truth. There is that within us that knows exactly what it needs to do to get our awareness back in that flow. That while we are there always, we do experience moments of not being there. And so I claim ease and grace for us about recognizing that, becoming aware of when that happens for us and what we need to do individually and collectively to shift that, to shift our experience back to being one of flow, easy, graceful, continuous flow of good through us and as us. All that is rightfully ours as our birthright, as spiritual beings having a human incarnation. And I'm so grateful to know this truth and to speak these words, So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into that law, the soil of our consciousness, and that the law says, okay, and it creates an exact replica of those thoughts, those beliefs into the world. And the plant becomes that which we have consciously chosen, that which we dream of, that which we desire. Knowing that the law works the same way all of the time for everyone, I release these words into that law, letting go and letting God be God. And I invite each of us to anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Thank you all. Thank you. It is now time for our conscious giving. This is the time every week when we offer our financial support to assist this community to continue a beacon of light and love and warmth in the Greater Triangle area, to continue to do what we are doing. And there are 3 ways that we can do this. We can visit the website at trianglecsl.org. There's a button up in the upper corner that says give or something like that. You'll find it. I'm not sure exactly in this moment. Oh, it's at the bottom of the page. There we go. I'm getting this from Heather. She's either a bobblehead or I'm doing or saying something wrong. So it's at the bottom of the page now. You can text the word give to 919-629-9148, or you can send a check to our PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina, 27519. I now invite you to take your gift, place it against your heart with a affirmation for yourself or a loved one, and we will do our conscious giving affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. So it is. Thank you all so very much for your generosity. And now please be generous as we welcome back the amazing Karen Daly.
Thank you guys so much. All right. We're in the flow, right? We're all in the flow. We got this. We got this. You're broken down and tired. Living life on the merry-go-round. You can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out. Ooh, mountains, we're gonna walk it out. Ooh. Do it 1,000 times again. Can you rise up high like the wave? Can you rise up high of the ache? Can you rise up and you do it 1,000 times again? You do it 1,000 times again. The silence isn't quiet. Feels like it's getting hard to breathe. Know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Ooh, mountains, take it to its feet. Ooh, mountains, we rise up rise like the day, we'll rise up, rise unafraid, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. We'll rise up, high like the waves, we'll rise up, in spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. All we need is love. And for that we have each other now. That we have each other now. So let's rise up, rise like the day, you rise up, rise unafraid, you rise up. Do it 1,000 times again. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks.
Just beautiful, Karen. And I was fine till I took Carol and she's over there in tears. Oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much. And thank you, Reverend Dusty. Okay, now I'm all stop. Okay. If anyone would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. On the homepage, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner or in the bottom. I don't know. Look for it. Click on that button. And we're going to pray for you. And I promise the prayer is going to work. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. All of the ministers and the practitioners, it'll be beautiful. Now, if anyone would like to dedicate a flower dedication to anyone for anything, please contact Heather Abbott at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. And we will provide a beautiful remembrance for whatever the occasion or the person. Now, in the comfort of your home or here, please rise for our January affirmation. This is a call and response. Please repeat it with meaning. As I step into a brand new year, I commit myself to rising higher and growing deeper.
As I step into a brand new year, I commit myself to rising higher and growing deeper.
In order to do this, I affirm that I am a radiant reflection of divine love and wisdom.
In order to do this, I affirm that I am a radiant reflection of divine love and wisdom.
In order to do this, I embrace divine guidance and the profound peace that it brings.
In order to do this, I embrace divine guidance and the profound peace that it brings.
In order to do this, I declare that the divine flows through me, as me, celebrating my highest good.
In order to do this, I declare that the divine flows through me, as me, celebrating my highest good.
In order to do this, I stretch beyond any belief in lack and limitation and embrace my expansive potential.
In order to do this, I stretch beyond any belief in lack and limitation and embrace my expansive potential.
I am beyond excited about the transformation that is possible for myself and for the world.
I am beyond excited about the transformation that is possible for myself and for the world.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Okay, now I'm going to do a benediction. You can stay standing or you can sit down, whatever makes you happy. I recognize that there is nothing but God, all God, in, as, and through me. And as that is true for me, it is true for all of you. And I'm thankful for the the beautiful review this morning of the principles of the science of mind. And I know that I'm going to use those principles in this moment and in every moment. I'm going to use this service to remind myself that I can have the life I want. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you all so very much for your presence here today, for inviting us into your homes. Bingo? Right. So I think we're starting at what, 12:15, I believe. So grab a little bite to eat, maybe even before that, but grab a bite to eat. Carol Cross has graciously made some wonderful soup. I brought a big salad, all kinds of things to eat. So please join us, break a little bread in fellowship before bingo starts. And remember to put down on your calendars the prayer workshop following the service next week. So that means I get to see all of y'all again. Woo! Excellent. Excellent. Have a really great week. I love you all.